This is a way to come to Hollywood Boulevard by the Los Angeles subway system, Metro Rail, and the magic and the wonder and the glamour and the history of this legendary boulevard. Fabulous Graumans Chinese Theater, the legendary Graumans Chinese Theater, and one that's very personally special to me. The grand opening of the theater was being held in May of 1927, but the concrete was still wet, so they built a small, narrow walkway heading right to the main entrance of the theater. But Norma Talmadge slipped and left a footprint. Sid Grauman, being the fine showman that he was, immediately seized that opportunity, handed her his very expensive fountain pen, and asked her to autograph her footprint, and she volunteered even more, not only the autograph, but her handprint as well. And so this is what started the tradition of paying tribute to the Hollywood stars with their handprint and footprint in concrete. Here in Hollywood, we honor people not by putting their names up on the wall high, but down on the ground. The publicity people told us that because there's limited space, we're to write our names only and not our handprint. But I'm a native Angelino. I know the tradition and the history behind this, and I was not about to let this opportunity go without my handprint being in this concrete. And so when my turn came, after all the others had very obediently just written their name, I wrote my name, and then splat, I put my handprint on it. And that's what prompted all my other colleagues to come running and put it back, put their handprints back on the wet concrete. Now here you see the great vertical grandeur of this theater. Can you believe that at one time in the 50s when they were improving this, they had a huge marquee covering that up and a box office smack dab in the center? Well, in the revitalization of Hollywood Boulevard, they've eliminated that marquee, eliminated the box office, and returned this courtyard to its full glory. It is a magnificent tribute to the history of Hollywood. This is a historic Egyptian theater, Graumans Egyptian, built by Sid Grauman back in 1922. This captures the history of building theaters in the style of some exotic place. King Tut's tomb was unearthed in 1922, and that's when the Egyptian themes became very popular. Hollywood Boulevard, like so many boulevards, for example, 42nd Street, had been declining over the years. And now with this complex here, the Hollywood and Highland complex, it is going to revitalize itself and enjoy a renaissance, as 42nd Street in New York has. This is an exciting complex filled with movie theaters, restaurants, from a hamburger place to a very posh hot cuisine. In true Hollywood fashion, you've got to have a grand staircase coming down. And this is the grand staircase of the Hollywood and Highland complex. And so we have a lot of the old glamour of Hollywood coming back again. It's an exciting time to be an Angelino, and a native Angelino, and a lover of Hollywood. This is a street that I grew up on. Legendary Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard. This is the birthplace of Oscar. The first Academy Award was given right here at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. Come on in. This is the lobby of the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. Now look at that chandelier. Isn't it glorious? And look at the coffered ceiling. This is the great glamorous early California architecture. And it was in this room that people like Clark Gable, people like Buster Keaton, people like Charlie Chaplin used to carry on. Look who I found hanging out here in the lobby of the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. I told you, celebrities hang out here, legendary celebrities. My old pal, Charlie Chaplin. Here we are in the Blossom Room of the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard. This is truly a landmark room. It was in this room back in 1927 when Oscar was born. The very first Academy Award was handed out in this room. When I got my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Hollywood Boulevard right outside, this is where we had the celebratory luncheon. And so Gene Roddenberry and Leonard and all my good friends joined me here, friends from Star Trek, from show business, from my political activities, my charitable activities. This hotel is really one of the jewels of Hollywood, part of the history, the built history of this town. The first Academy Award was given on Hollywood Boulevard at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, but it's roamed a bit over the years, over the last 75 years, throughout Southern California. It went downtown to the Music Center, it went down to the Shrine Auditorium, but from the year 2002 until the end of time, it's come back to Hollywood Boulevard at the brand new, dazzlingly new Kodak Theater. This is my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 1986, and I have fond memories of that when this was unveiled. All my colleagues from Star Trek joined me, a lot of my friends from the political arena, and my mother was the one to first step over my good name. And Gene Roddenberry is just two stars away from me. And right down the street there is the oldest restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard, Musso and Franks. Just a few steps away from my star is Musso and Franks, a restaurant that's legendary and the oldest restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard, here since 1919. I was having dinner here with out-of-town friends when Ricardo Montalban, who you all know as Khan in Wrath of Khan, the second Star Trek movie, happened by, and we chatted a little bit and we parted ways, and all my friends at the table were so impressed. They thought that this happens all the time, and indeed it did at one time. This is where Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, Clark Gable, all the legends of Hollywood used to come regularly. So it's a very special place, part of the history of Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood Boulevard is eminently accessible as well. I served for 11 years on the Southern California Rapid Transit District Board, and we initiated the building of Los Angeles subway system that we call the Metro Rail. And there is a major Metro Rail station right here on Hollywood and Highland. Live long and prosper all. We'll see you.